It's finally time to check on some roamers. Hello everyone, it's SK95. Welcome back to more Pokemon LeafGreen. Last time, we managed to complete everything on the Sevi Islands. Pretty much all of it's pretty much done. And this time though, there seems to be something roaming around in the Kanto region after you complete everything in the Sevi Islands and deliver the Sapphire. Big warning though. I highly recommend if you have done that quest and make sure you've locked down. I'm gonna go back to C2 Island because there is something at 2 Island I forgot to show before we try to check on the roamers. 2 Island actually has a store that we remember correctly had decent items. However, it updates after you get the Sapphire. I completely forgot to talk about this, but let's go here and get some more decent items and rare items. You get new items, the Timer Ball and Repeat Ball. The Repeat Ball is good for Pokemon that have been caught before, so if you want to catch new Pokemon, it's there for you. Timer Ball, on the other hand, is one of the best Pokeballs in the game, simply because of the fact that it gets stronger the more turns the game goes through. Also, there's Moo Moo Milks and Lava Cookies. Lava Cookies are a specialty in Lava Ridge Town back in Hoenn region. And Moo Moo Milk is pretty much a weaker version of a Hyper Potion, but it's still better than a dang regular potion. So, there's that. It's pretty much a good deal if you want it, but I'd say outright there are better options out there. Let's go check on Celio after we've done everything, because I forgot to check on him after we did 7 Islands nonsense done before we actually go on back to the Kanto region. So, yeah, I really need to get things in better order because, frankly, it's my own dang fault, so there's that, but I want to stick with what we got. Hello, Nick, I've been hearing rumors about you. Nick was your favorite kind of Pokemon. Those Pokemaniacs, so he loves every kind. Apparently, the first one he caught was an Abra. Hello. Yeah, he's basically talking about how he simply can't stomach getting milk at all. Nick, I've been hearing rumors about you. By the way, Nick, you're from Palatine, aren't you? I heard that it's quite a pleasant place. Next hometown is Clover Run City, where his folks still live. I heard that's quite the festive, bustling city. I'd like to go there one day. Yeah, he doesn't really talk about much, but he does talk about facts about Bill. So, let's actually check on Bill. It's been a while since we've been near him, so there's that. And I just realized I can't fly back to the Kanto region. Duh. Good job, me. I flubbled. Hey, Bill, it's been a while. I went back to Bill. Feel like checking out some of my rare Pokemon on my PC? Go on, check out my PC. Bill's PC actually is rare Pokemon. Favorite Pokemon list. Which Pokemon do you want to see? He has the evolutions here, and that's not exactly it. There's checking out some of my rare Pokemon? Yeah, pretty much. That's all he has to talk about. Really, his rare Pokemon are just the evolutions. The ones you can get in this game and nowhere else. I should warn you all for the roamers. Make sure you have Pokemon at least under level 50, but above level 40. You want to do that in order to get them easily. Otherwise, you're running into random encounter after random encounter, and it's never fun. So, besides that, though, the roamers, I highly recommend using your Master Ball on, because it's frankly annoying. There's only one roamer based on the starter you have. So, let's actually go into what Pokemon that we want to go into, because it's actually easier to do so. I'd recommend also going on a route that's easy to get to grass. So, my personal recommendation, I would say outright, it's better off that you go for a route that actually has easy grass access. That, I'd say, the closest would be the Pokemon of Palatown. Palatown is actually the easiest one to get to, and it's frankly the lowest level in case you run into things that you don't want to. So besides that though, let's go north of Palatown and see if we can find the counter. So, first things first, the Pokemon you get based on the starters. For the Pokemon you get you picked Bulbasaur as your starter Pokemon, you get the Pokemon known as Entei. Entei is a pure fire type with high HP and high physical attack compared to most fire types. And it doesn't have a bad physical attack stat or speed either. Proof of that, Entei is actually quite better often, a better choice if you're dealing on a fire type that's not Flareon. Downside, its level up roof pool is shallow and best in Gen 3. It doesn't get anything really more powerful than Fire Blast, and sadly, Pure Fire is not exactly a good typing. Raikou is a pure electric type that's typically similar to Jolteon. However, unlike Jolteon, it packs more of a punch. However, another downside to Raikou is the fact that its level up move pool is just as bad as Entei's. Seriously, it doesn't even gain Thunderbolt by level up. Also, another thing about Raikou should be known about is the fact that Raikou is pretty often more or less used for your Thunderbolt TM. You're really not going to use your Thunderbolt TM on anything but this thing. Last and certainly not least is the Pokemon known as Suicune, a water type that's known for dual tanking and dual walling. It's one of the most tanky water types you'll ever encounter in these games. And not only that, Suicune is actually well known to be, well, the better of 3 legendary Pokemon. Not only that, it's actually capable of running both water type moves and ice type moves. as well as having Gust as regular move by level up. This allows you to actually keep in mind how well it's been used, as well as the fact that the better user online compared to the other two. A side note I should mention about the legendary Pokemon, they both have some problems. So yeah, those are the 3 Pokemon you can actually encounter for this. Sadly, there is a flaw with these legendary beasts in this game, as well as Ruby and Sapphire for roaming legendaries. Their EV values for their HP is set to 0 to 31 like normal, but their attack EV is set to 0 to 7, and then everything else is set to 0. I don't know what they did wrong, but it was fixed in Emerald, but besides that point, these are technically the worst versions you can get of the legendary beasts in any of the games. I am not kidding. Not only that, Raikou and Entei both have Roar, which was not in the original Ruby and Sapphire, so as a result of this, there's an apparent bug where it treats it as the counter failed, and then it results in the Pokemon no longer being accessible ever again. I am not kidding. It's one of the biggest weaknesses of this game, and it has a lot of problems. Then again, the original games was actually made by duct tape, but what can we do? This is going to take me a while to actually find them because I don't have anything lower level than dang 40, 50 because of this, and generally speaking, I should have, but I overgrinded. But the best solution from this problem is I'm going to go grab a Pokemon that's level 40 or something, and I'll be right back going after a Pokemon that is roaming. They don't show in the Pokedex, by the way. You have to do it like this. Alright, it took me a while to actually get the Pokemon I needed for that one because I was being a pain in the neck, but I did manage to grab a Golbat back in Victory Road. It's actually the easiest way to get it. Also, Golbat's a good idea because it actually has mean look by level up, and also knows it by natural means. Big warning though, this is actually better often, if not, to pick Suicune, because Suicune doesn't have Roar unlike Entei and Raikou. Sadly though, you cannot encounter them in the route yet. You have to make sure you encounter them first, and then they can be tracked. So that's a big downside that I don't generally like, and you have to switch routes every single time. It's actually one of the more painful things in this game. Another thing is, I'd recommend a Pokemon with Soundproof or the ability to ignore sound-based moves. If they have that, then it's good. If you don't encounter anything for like, say, 100 steps, then immediately leave the routes, come back in, and then rinse and repeat. Because otherwise, you're not going to encounter the Pokemon because it changes route every single time you enter a route. Pretty much that's the main thing about it. Entering a building also affects it to a degree, but I would say outright you're better off on routes because entering building and leaving building is generally not a good strategy for me, and I frankly don't care for it. There is a route I particularly care about when I usually do this, so it's actually the easier option, but besides that though, the route I typically go to when I usually was trying to search for these Pokemon in general is usually Fuchsia Cities to the right. So that is typically where I go normally. Everyone else has their own strategy involved to go and find these dang legendary beasts, but it's not easy. Generally speaking, this is one of the most obnoxious things in the game, and generally I hate it too much. So yeah, I never exactly had fond memories of finding these legendary Pokemon because it's a pain. It's a really big pain. And back then, I had always picked Charmander, so I never had a problem trying to catch a legendary Pokemon. Everyone else's experiences of either picking Bulbasaur or Squirtle usually have a harder time because dang Roar and dang sound-based moves. The only good Pokemon that I actually would recommend if you really want to keep it down there is if you decide to get a Wobbuffet and it will stop it outright if using Shadow Tag. Sadly, I can't exactly recommend Wobbuffet. It usually should have shown up by now, but at this point, I'm going to have to keep going back in and out because it activates as soon as Celio has been done. So I'll get ahead till we find it. Be right back. Finally found you! You took forever! Suicune finally found you! Good grief. That took like 10-20 minutes. This took a while. Man, this is annoying. Before you say, wait, save your Master Ball. No, you want to use it on this thing immediately, because it will run no matter what. So, yeah, for Entei and Raikou, I even recommend Master Ball. Use it on this Pokemon no matter what. Oh my goodness, this took forever. And it's just guaranteed caught, because there's no point in me counting the numbers. Suicune was caught. Thank goodness. That took a while. Good grief. Said to be the reincarnation of North Winds. They can instantly purify filthy, murky water. I have a good joke. I'm such a child, aren't I? Oh, that took forever. Alright, that's pretty much all I have to do last. Also, I burned through a lot of my repels because I was running through that route repeatedly, and it was not exactly fun. Believe me, it was not. I'm gonna go off-screen, grab repels, and then we're gonna take care of the last thing we need to do. And then we're gonna end it off because I frankly didn't want to deal with Suicune taking forever, and believe me, that is no matter what the definition of Distortion World. It's just annoying. Plus, we have this guaranteed Suicune that is just the worst Suicune in the game. If you want me to be perfectly honest, I highly recommend playing Coliseum, because at least then you get a Suicune that doesn't have bad stats or terrible IVs. Well, that's Mr. Queen's nature. That's sassy nature. A very sassy Suicune. No wonder it was running away a lot. Sassy nature is... oh, that is... I guess it's marginally good. Plus special defense minus speed. Can't exactly say it's bad nature, but it doesn't matter because it's just Suicune. Yeah, his little move pool in the early games is not exactly that good. Bubble Beam is not exactly a good move either. But it's still better than most legendaries. Believe me, Entei's moveset is garbage. Wait, why am I picking Suicune with me? No. I want Sparky, get back in here. Alright, put dang Golbat back in the PC, and that's pretty much it. I'm gonna go and grab repels. Okay, fine. Alright, let's just go in, get the repels back up. And I'm gonna sell everything else I had in my inventory because I don't need it anymore, because I don't need it. And let's go to the bottom because I know that's where they are. Nuggets. Star Piece. Stardust. And I believe the pearls are the last thing I need to sell. Pearls, 2, and then the big pearl is 1. And that's pretty much all she wrote. We also sell those rare candies that we have not used. I'm gonna see how much tank is still level up. Just needed because it's just generally a good idea to check out the Pokemon if they're about to level up. Glimmer's about to level up. Gorgeous close. Sparky is far away. I'll give the 2 experience rare candies to dang Tank and we'll be done. So, Tank, here you go. And then Tank one more time. And that's all she wrote. Alright, we're done with that. We pretty much used everything else we have left. You can challenge Elite Four again, but their teams are going to be the rematch teams, which the max level is 70. Big bad. And I would not recommend them. And I'm honestly not going to do them because I have to unnecessarily grind off screen in order to get to that again. And it's too much of a hassle to do so, so I can't exactly recommend going after Elite Four and doing the champion fight again. Their teams do change to a small degree. L'Oreal has a Piloswine now. Bruno actually has Hitmontop for once. And Agatha actually has a Mischievous. And then Lance actually has some new Dragon types. But it's not generally a big worry when it comes to that moveset. Plus, the last one being, you know, our rival will have 2 new Pokemon, a Tyranitar and a dang Heracross. Yeah, it's scary. Anyway, I think we're done for now. Next time on Pokemon LeafGreen, there is one more thing we have to do before we end this off. It's located right around here where that patch of area is. See you all next time.